possibilities. I feel it deep inside me. You're everything reminds me. This rapture has my body. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. Whisper in my ear, then I'll take you down to my crystal waterfall. Now you're standing tall. I feel it deep inside me. You're everything reminds me. This rapture has my body. Has my body. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off. Your beats in my brain and it drives me insane when you touch me this way. No one can see when you're down on your knees, and it's hard when you get me off.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Three Musketeers.
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe on a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Beautiful because the weather is maravilloso.
Beautiful.
I gotta tell you, I'm excited. I'm excited because this show we're gonna dedicate to merch, promo, get the word out, get your show out, get your groove out. Now they never know what I'm thinking. But if you look behind me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make that record label come to life, and I'm gonna definitely work. Monday's going to work hook or crook in Boston.
Absolutely.
I came up with a way of doing it. It's been tested, it's guaranteed. But that's not what I'm excited about. If you call, what's the phone number?
888-994-4995, Studio A. What are you giving away, my friend?
I'm giving away shirts. Oh my God.
There's
got a
few
lot of
them.
shirts.
Yeah, there's a few in there.
Oh, that means that I can give away shirts to people, more than one. I got two up here. Now we have the size fits you. So whatever size
Look who's in the
you
house.
need, you can have.
How you doing? Angel's in the house. You ready for tonight? Your show 2 weeks ago exploded.
All right, can we focus?
Sorry. Yes, I was very excited to see what's going on.
Well, I'm excited here.
So who are you giving your shirt away to?
Whoever calls, the first caller that calls in right now, I will give you a shirt, a Brooklyn Cafe shirt.
I love these shirts.
With
This is
the-
a design that has everything the New York skyline in it.
And the only thing we want is when you come, we want to take a picture of you in it. That's it. Other than that, the shirt is yours.
Take a picture, so if I call
Well, you
right
take
now,
it. No, you can't. And you can't work for us because if you do, you don't qualify.
888-994-4995
Studio A. I'm giving these away, and I'm gonna let that people know during the day. I'm also giving away the bell and the wand. Not this one. This one's used. I got new ones in the back, which I'm giving away. So if you call now, you get a bell, a wand, and a shirt. How's that?
All in.
All in. And I got 2 shirts and 2 wands for today. So if you want them, first come, first serve.
All in.
All in.
Very nice.
How we go from there?
I'm excited. I got some big news today.
What was that?
We have our first WEMP wallet. We now have a crypto wallet, which means we can now take payment by WEMP token.
Okay.
Pretty exciting. I think it's exciting because it's learning the next step in financial freedom and financial options if you so choose to believe and invest in cryptocurrency.
Well, there's, yes.
You know, so we're starting next week. It's going to be WEMP Wednesday. We're starting Crypto 101. It's going through the process of, we're going to be accepting WEMP token because WEMP, Women Empowerment Token, is a new sponsor of the cafe on WEMP Wednesdays. We're going to talk about all things crypto and finance, how to trade, different websites, different videos that you can learn from if you so choose. Some people will like it. Some people are not believers in crypto, and that's okay. All we are here to do is share the information, like with anything else.
And I spoke to her about they are combining the NFTs with the crypto. So now you get 2 deals going on in that particular stage.
Nice.
And this is the latest and the greatest. And what I want to do is I want to see if one of the artists, like, you see what I got behind me?
Yes, she, I'm sure, would love to do that.
Maybe we turn this one into an NFT.
It's very cool. It's a great idea.
Because of the value of this thing and the value of these products go in this direction, and everybody that buys in gets a percentage of the value increase.
That is an amazing piece. I'm looking at it thinking, wow, how she did that. If you actually sit and look at the detail of those 3 Musketeers, the clothing is laminated. Everything is made from the wrappers. It's really an amazing piece. The detail of it. That'd be a great NFT.
It is, and we got the S&Ms, we got the
Nerds rule the world.
Butterfingers, we got
Jolly
a whole bunch
Rancher,
of them.
Sugar Babies.
They're all in here. They're all for sale. But and I need to talk. Christina's coming today, right? Coming today, Christina?
No.
Somebody's coming at 1.
She came, she left.
At 1.
Justin Mooney.
That's it. Oh, Justin. I got to talk to somebody because I want to
Angel, he needs to talk to somebody.
about the NFT because I want to know. So suppose she agrees, right? So this is for sale, and the NFT is $100 per piece, and there's 10 of them. So that's 1,000. Oh, there's 15
Right.
of them. So that's the 1,500. After you fill the NFTs, then it goes out for sale.
That's a good question. Does the original
Oh.
go with the NFT or not?
We need to ask.
It's a good question. I've got lots of websites and things for people to look into. WEMP only hosts and promotes NFTs created by women. So if WEMP wanted to promote an NFT, they could promote that because the artist is female.
Therein lies the secret.
So that is
That's
part
why-
of the WEMP way.
That's why when I met the ladies and they were here talking about all of this currency stuff, but currency, my eyes lit up that they have what 1,500, 2,000. They got a lot of people involved in this thing, no?
And
So
it's
you
going
put it
up,
out there,
absolutely.
and they want to help one another, so they'll bid on this thing and they'll raise the price, and all of a sudden everybody's happy.
So there's a lot of information on WEMP, and yes, they only support NFTs that are created by women.
And are we allowed to buy in even though we're promoting it? A lot of stuff. We
Why
got to
not?
ask the question. Well, man, there's certain rules sometimes. Inside trading, stuff like
That's
that.
not inside trading.
It is if I know it's on the inside of this building.
I don't know what to tell you. The first 99 token holders of WEMP are women, and each month WEMP community voters, they choose and they donate to a charity that supports women in their causes.
That's another thing I want to talk to you about after the show.
After the show, we got a lot to talk about after the show.
Because aren't we getting involved with a company that's taking this nationwide, and there's charities attached to it?
Absolutely.
Hmm?
Absolutely. And we're shooting a women commercial today for face cream.
That's
Going
right.
to
And
be-
she has to be introduced into that group. There's a
going
lot
to
of
be-
stuff,
it's
and we
gonna
have
be
Angel
big.
who's here.
I'm so
Well,
glad
I'ma
Angel's
tell you,
here.
I can't believe the numbers because I get to put them together. I had to look 3 times yesterday before I sent them because I couldn't believe how well and what a great show you put. I wasn't here for the last show you did.
He wasn't here for the last show. Just grab your mic. We have
Grab a
Angel
microphone.
Kinsey's host of Touched by Angel Live, which airs tonight at 7 o'clock. And Freddie came late. He actually came as we were leaving last 2 weeks ago. And he said, what was her show about? And I said, oh my gosh, not a dry eye in this studio, including Angel. And then you asked for the numbers, and he went and he looked at your reach and your impressions for the show, and he went, holy cow, do you have any idea how huge your show was?
I was wondering what happened. Did somebody come in?
I had no idea. I don't know. I don't understand it either, but that's okay.
What it means is that people are watching you. So, you know,
Okay.
you go to the movies and there's 1,000 people watching a movie or a concert. Those are the impressions. Except that you have multiple impressions because you're on radio, you're on video, and then the social media plays around both aspects. So those are impressions and we add them up.
What I love so much
Great.
about your show 2 weeks ago is you authentically shared your story. And it's interesting, I was talking to a show that we produced here this morning. When you are authentic and you're telling your story, because people look on the outside and they look at you now and say, she's so beautiful. She's got such a beautiful family,
Thank
a
you.
great job, she hosts a show. Nobody knows what you went through to get where you are. Same thing with the ladies that were here this morning. Because on the outside, people judge what you look like on the outside, and very few people stop and get to know you on the inside, especially when you're in this business, and yet you shared all of that pain.
Yeah. Thank you.
How was that for you?
Emotional. I didn't expect to get as emotional, and as I told some of the stories, just reliving it all over again. I had to stop and take a commercial because I had to compose myself. You never know what's going to happen when it's live.
I
So-
saw that, and I was thinking, did you prepare that it was going to be emotional? Did you know going down memory lane
No.
that it was actually going to hit you again like it did?
No, it was when I put the slideshow with all my pictures from a baby growing up and my whole story, marriage, children, grandchildren, that I relived everything. And that's when all the emotions came back. Yeah.
It's so amazing because I look at you and you don't look like a grandma. You don't look like any grandma that I know.
I'm going to
And
be
you're
a
gonna
great grandma.
grandma. So congratulations on that side. Your
And
granddaughter.
she's going to be born on my husband's birthday. Well, that's her due date.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And your granddaughter just got accepted into her residency, and she's a doctor. You've got a great granddaughter being born. I mean, what an amazing, beautiful life.
Yeah.
That if you had checked out like you had wanted to, that you spoke about so many years ago, you would not be here to enjoy all of these great
Absolutely.
things.
Yep.
What advice do you give people who are feeling like you felt?
Well, that's going to be a secret for tonight. Because tonight's show, what I'm talking about is overcoming grief, sorrow, disappointment, and fear. Because all those emotions come out when trauma happens to you. And that doesn't mean just losing your partner. It could be anything. It could be a divorce. It could be health. It could be a lot of things. We go through trauma. So I'm going to talk about overcoming all of that tonight.
Do you have a guest coming in?
No, it's just me.
Wow.
I want to ask you a question. After you did the show and you went home and you do whatever it is you do to get ready to go to bed, do you ever have like that moment where you sit back and say, man, I can't believe that I just did this and I went through, do you have any emotions that occur?
No, I think I just got home and I was
And you were over
exhausted.
it? And you were over it?
I was exhausted, but I reflected on it after. And I always wonder if it touched anyone because I encourage people to call in or email me, you know, and I've only had like one response on the show on anxiety and depression. And one lady called me and said, Thank you so much, because I was going through a lot and I didn't know what it was until I saw the show, and I realized I was having depression. And so half the battle is knowing what the problem was. So she was so happy. So if I could just, even, I was thinking about it this morning, because that's when everything hits me in the morning. At night, Freddie, I'm just like done, because I work so hard all day. I was thinking, you know what, even tonight, if it just touches one person, because there's a lot of people out there grieving in some format.
Right.
If I could just affect one person tonight, it's worth it all.
It's funny because yesterday we went to Lynn University, and we met so many kids.
Yeah.
And how do I explain this? It was a internship fair. So there are people that go there to, like we have some of the kids in here, they take credit for going to school
Right.
and learning the trade around them. But it got deeper because the seniors that were graduating were not looking for, really for internships, they're looking for paid spots, paid gigs, paid internships.
It was an employment fair.
It was an employment fair. Okay, so they were looking for employment. They're looking to get
Right.
monies and things of that nature, which was really interesting to feel the pain that they're going through, the fear that they're going through, how they're going to pay back their loans, how they're going to survive. The summer's here, they got to get me to school. So yesterday when I sat down, I saw all those lives, just like you're saying, that were affected,
Yeah.
and how we can help as much as we can to getting them over that hump.
Yeah.
So I said to myself, the next time I saw you, because I saw the numbers, so you touch more than one life. There's a ton of people who aren't going to call in, or they're not going to reveal
Right.
how they feel for different reasons, okay, which are theirs. But that isn't the way I look at numbers. I look at numbers that they keep coming back. You know, if I wasn't interested in what you're doing, I do it once and I don't come back. But your numbers rise, and they keep rising on all platforms because I see them all. And so you're affecting many lives in different ways. You may affect her in one way, it may affect me in another way. So kudos to you that you're doing what you do
Thank you.
and that it doesn't keep you up at night. Because this business will keep you up at night when you're looking for that whole thing. I mean, we did so many different pieces yesterday. I sat down yesterday and I said, wow. It's like when we went down to the Trump International.
Yeah.
I said, wow. It's the way the kids, and I call them kids, they're adults,
crew,
but I
yeah.
call them kids. The way they worked in that atmosphere, the way they went, the way Breed did, Slick did, all the kids, so everything they did. And I sat down and I said, you know something? Wow. It affects your life. And so what you have to say and the way you're doing it,
Thank you.
and I'm shocked. I'll be very honest with you. I never knew the impact that you had in the community, which is fantastic.
Maybe it's good that I don't know.
So you get all nervous.
When
And
the-
people are coming tonight, so I'll probably have about maybe, I don't know, 10 people.
Nice.
And Werner from the Low Sugar Bakery is going to bring some food.
Fantastic.
So 6 o'clock, we're going to get here for an hour early just to have that time. And I love that hour that I'm getting to see my students that I don't
Right.
get to see live. They're on Zoom.
What I love about there's many things I love about your show. What I'm loving about the production of the shows that we're able to do lately is people are really authentic, because social media has an all-time high of unauthenticity. Every picture is photoshopped. Everything has a filter, a lens. If you raise it high enough, you're going to look 10 pounds skinnier. And everyone's life is beautiful on social media.
Yeah.
But the shows that we produce lately, from Eileen to Ivy to Touched by Angel Live, all of these women sit in this space of authenticity and pain that they've gone through. And people don't know until you know, and you listen to these show hosts say, you know what, I've been through something. And it just makes you realize that everyone is going through something. And social media is absolutely not the norm. It is this fake pretend game. So I love that you're authentic, and I love Eileen's stories and Ivy's stories. You look at these beautiful women on the outside and on the inside that are judged for whatever reason, and then you all share stories and you inspire others. And that is the beauty of what we've gotten to do lately.
Well, I would like to invite, what I would like to do is I'd like to invite as many hosts to come on Friday. we're having these giant puppets come in here, so we have some entertainment, some stuff going. I may
Tomorrow.
even have a singer. This is tomorrow, and I like if as many as we can come to thank them, because it ain't easy to do what we do. I mean, you've experienced it, and you're just at the tip of the iceberg. Try doing it for 7 years, 13 years, over and over, 3 shows a day. I mean,
You know, I watch you and I see you guys every day with a different topic, constantly going from one to the other to the other. Never a dull moment, never stopping. And I was thinking yesterday, I thought, how do they do it? How do they keep fresh and alive and happy to come every single day and be here all day? People don't realize that you guys are here like all day, you know,
All day.
all week.
All day, all week.
All day, all week, from early in the morning until sometimes late at night. I mean, you were with me till what, 8?
Yeah,
8
tonight I'll be
o'clock?
with you until 8 o'clock. Absolutely.
So I think to myself, this is definitely a God thing that inspired you guys to do this, because really it has affected so many people in so many positive ways. You know, people think COVID was a negative, and it was, because a lot of people died. But I really believe that the COVID had the other side of it, where it's really brought a lot of families together. It's brought a lot of truth out. It's brought a lot of change. You know, just more innovative with their businesses, because they lost their business, so they had to find something else. So I think it's really taken a curve for the positive. It's starting to go uphill.
Well, that starts with you. It brought you.
Yeah.
It brought change. It brought Evie back. It brought Hallie Elise back. You know, there are people, we've been doing this a long time,
Yeah.
and they're coming back because they're beginning to see the light, that you got to have a desire to make a change. And that's really the secret sauce of what we're trying to accomplish now. We have commercials lined up. We have another thing coming out next week that I'm going to get on the phone, because I love that place we went to yesterday. I don't want to say it because people watch my stuff and they call ahead of me. But I love that place, and I think that that place will love us and what we do. And we have the best hosts in the world. So why don't we take them all up there
I
and
think it'd
we
be
do a nice
fantastic.
hosting?
Yeah.
This thing could do multiple shows at the same time.
Which I think would be fantastic.
It's just about the art of believing in yourself and then letting it ride, and don't give in to the fear. And I would love to invite as many people as we can for tomorrow, just to say thank you. Thank you for believing in you and bringing forward all of this energy, because maybe we get by this thing.
You know, it's interesting. We went into Studio A when I was talking to Ivy and her daughter, and talking about self-confidence and believing in yourself. And a lot of people, they walk the walk. I believe in myself, especially women. I'm self-confident, until you have a partner that derails you and says, you can't do this, or I don't believe in you, or why would you do something like that? No one else is going to believe in you. And yet, there you are in all this self-confidence, and it takes one comment or one pit of jealousy to totally derail all of that. So I gave her a lot of kudos, because she came from a situation that derailed her, and she sat here today and talked about it.
That's right.
And you would look at her and think, how could she never have self-confidence? Right? And that's just a matter of judgment on the outside. But so many people go through the same thing. And you've lost, what, 100+ pounds?
No, not 100. No.
You know,
That was the
believing
guy
in
that
yourself.
was,
200.
No.
No, she lost 100.
43, I think. 43 or 36, something like that. Yeah, it was a lot in 6 months.
And here you are inspiring a whole nother demographic. And that's what makes you so special, is you inspire your demographic. Eileen inspires her demographic. Ivy is hers. Our crew inspires theirs. This one inspires, I don't know who Slick inspires, everybody.
Well, before you know, everything that happened, I was just a hairdresser. Well, not just a hairdresser, but that's what I did, and had my own business twice. And this brought me 2 other careers, you know, talk show host, and also a senior instructor for exercise, which I never thought I would do, and that's how the weight, of course. So my heart is for seniors, because I believe I could relate to them, but actually I see that it's bringing the younger generation in together, and that's my goal, is to help the 2 generations come together and understand one another, so that they could relate to one another. instead of thinking, oh, I can't get anything from that person, or, I think that it's starting to bring a respect, which is really needed.
A value back to the seniors. We talked about this a few years ago when we went to the senior center, and we met seniors
Amazing.
that have retired, but they were sound engineers for CBS. They were playwrights.
They
were
wanted to be with us. They
right,
wanted to work
conductors
with us.
on Broadway. I mean, huge, vital, incredible people.
Yes.
That people do not respect because they're
They
seniors.
think they're too old.
They're too old. They don't know better. Everyone thinks they know better, but the seniors with the knowledge and where they are and came from, I think, is remarkable.
It's funny because some of the kids that we talked to again at Lynn, one of the kids, I asked him, I want you to go in this place, listen to everybody's spiel, and before we leave, I want you to come and tell me what you feel. He was in the truck with Brandstar. That's why he went like this to me. Maybe he calls, maybe he doesn't. But you give choice. When you give choice, you give people an opportunity to pick their path. This is why Paul's segment I loved. Diane, love, because you're learning something. Do you want to do it or not do it? It's up to you.
Right.
You give people choice. You've always been a host. You just didn't know it.
As a
Because
hairdresser, right? How many people talk to you day in and day out?
you're like a priest.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it comes down to. I know certain people in my life that I chased for 4 years to come and do this,
Yeah.
and they said they had nothing to say. And that isn't true either. We all have something to say. But we
Absolutely.
listen. The word judgment is a jigsaw puzzle because it has a lot of adjectives and verbs and all that. Judgment doesn't mean anything until you make it mean something. So if somebody judges you, it doesn't mean anything until you believe that what they're saying is true. So don't do it. You can say, no, I don't want a hamburger, I want vegan. You can say, no, I don't want a hot dog, I want this. It's the same thing. When people serve you up judgment, then don't give it any energy. Don't believe that you can't. Believe that you can.
Yeah.
And if you fail at it, you wipe it off and you go again.
And I think a big key today is that we all, myself included, need to learn how to listen. Kids need to be heard. Seniors need to be heard. And I don't know if you noticed, but because I talk to a lot of people, some people you could have a great conversation with and you could go back and forth. Other people will just sit there and be quiet and you could just feed them and you could tell they're just taking it all in. And then there's other people that just want to talk the whole time and they never listen to anything you have to say and they're just going on about themselves. So there's like all these different kinds of people and you really have to learn how to deal with each one. And like you said, the negative, like don't put those negative thoughts that they say you can't or whatever. Don't even listen to it. Don't be with those kind of people. Choose. My grandmother used to say, choose your friends because who you hang out with, that's who you're going to be. And that was so true.
One of the great things we get to do with our crew is watch them come together as friends and work together
great.
as
I love to
colleagues.
see them in there.
And that's a whole nother side of one of the great things that we get to do. And that's what they said yesterday at Lynn. It's they love how we empower our interns, our crew, and that we brought them with us yesterday. And I thought they are the backbone. We say that all the time. They're the backbone of what we do. We sit here, but they're running everything else in the studio. And Lynn, anyone in education, I was thinking about it last night, what we really get to do is we are an education platform for so many things, for sharing your stories and our host stories, as well as teaching them, and then they teach us so many great things.
And then when you open the door, you got to take it with you. When I used to coach children, I used to have a meeting with the parents and tell the kids, the coaches, take the kids. I had 11 coaches. Take the kids and work them out. And I had a meeting with the parents. I said, between the hour and between games, your children belong to me. If you can't live with that, take your child, girl also, because I have females, take them home. They could play for another team. But they belong to me. They brought me their report cards. If you didn't have the grades, you sat on the bench. That was just my rule. It's my way or the highway. I believe that you should always stay on the positive side because life is always going to deal you on the negative side. Right. Now, I got to give you a lot of kudos because you sat in that sofa over there and you says, my wish is to be on radio and be a host. And that's all I had to hear. because you pushed it out there. He says, you want the wish? And boom. So come Monday at 6 o'clock, and I want everybody to tune in. And you're invited to come to the radio station.
Not
you know where it
Monday,
is.
tonight.
Monday at 6 o'clock. I got 4 kids from Lynn University.
Oh, I thought you were talking
You're
about
tonight,
my show.
yeah.
4
It's like-
kids from Lynn University are putting on a show, 15 minutes. They've never done it before.
Oh.
And I challenged them. I said, so are you good enough to be on radio? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so Monday, what are you doing at 6 o'clock? And I said, boom, boom, boom. Let's see how many show up. I said, bring your family, bring your friends. I want to fill the radio station, so I got to go to 2 floors. But the point of the exercise is if you want it, you will get it. Now you got to work it.
Get them to walk out, step out of the boat and onto the water.
That's right. Which is the hardest thing, is that first step. Now, a few years ago, I think it was what, 3 years, 4 years ago? Jackie Birch
At least 4.
came up to us at Lynn University and says, you need me. And I put her on the air that Friday, and she never looked back. Could have been one of the best in the business. She got hired, she did interviews, she was on her own show. If she was, but things got complicated at home. But she was given the shot. Same thing with this one here. And you're taking advantage of it, and you're making it work, not only for you, but for everybody around you.
Well, you're doing good in a world that needs good, and I'll tell you what you're doing. Like you said, for the young students, I'm not going to call them kids. They're kids to me, but they're students, and for what they do in there, in that room, and their creativity, and putting my logo together, and Slick, you know, just stepping out and doing a show, and it just really shows how much love and care you have for that generation. And just, you know, they don't leave, they stay here. They just hang out here.
They
They
just
want to
hang
be
out.
here. You know, I mean, that's what these kids need today. They need that acceptance and love and encouragement that they can do whatever they want to do. So they're in there, you know, making cartoons, and it just amazes me. And how they all get along together. It's so peaceful in there. You don't hear a pin drop. They're all working hard.
They're
all
focused.
working.
Great.
Well, they're working on they're gonna formulate their own business. And I told them that if they take it seriously, I will pay for the LLC. And they're gonna put a merchandise company together. Because those are 2 of the best artists I've ever seen in my life. And they have imagination and creativity.
Yeah.
And they just need a shot. And I says, well, take a shot. You can always take this with you wherever you go,
Right.
but make it work. So they're doing a commercial, which I'm hoping to air next week.
Great.
And I am so proud of what they have accomplished.
Yeah.
Because when you meet them, they're all shy at the beginning,
Yes.
and then they grow.
Very quiet.
And my goodness gracious, they are so I mean, I've always quoted, and I'll say the midterm, are you the best at what you're doing? They better say yes. Because Freddie, I have a conniption if they don't. But it's about leadership. It's about believing in yourself.
Yeah.
It's about taking that next step. Don't look back. And don't think the judgment is bigger than you, because it's nothing but a word. Jealousy is bigger than judgment. And when you're good at what you do, not everybody's going to love you. Not
Exactly.
everybody's going to like you. That's okay. The world is full of everybody having an opinion.
Yes.
So today I asked the hosts, if you knew then what you know now, would you change anything that you did?
Would I change anything that I did in the past?
Yeah.
No.
Then you've lived a beautiful
No.
life,
Yeah.
which is incredible.
Yeah.
And what would you tell your younger self? What would you tell your 25-year-old Angel?
Myself? Wait till you see what God has in store for you.
Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah.
It is amazing.
No matter what age you are, and I said that to one of the girls today, what would you tell? You can tell your 12-year-old self just as your mom can tell her 25-year-old self. Chelsea said to me yesterday, if I could tell my 14-year-old self, as it rears its ugly head again of certain things that happen in life, that it's all going to be okay.
You know, her daughter is a magician in the art world. That's hers. I got the radio station full of her art.
Yeah.
And I asked her to do something which she did not do, but that's okay because we ain't there yet, to the art. But the art pieces are fantastic. And it just makes me think why we don't merchandise her artwork. You see, my mind has changed because I'm older than a lot of people in here. You know, we're in that different category. And I look at opportunity everywhere. You can give me a balloon, and I see opportunity because I could tie a string to it. I could give it to a little kid, watch them light up. Because when you make kids light up, their parents light up, and there is the effect. So her daughter, I look at some of the things that she feels because you can see it on the canvas. Same thing with the artists in here as well. A lot of people don't understand that we have an art gallery here.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
We have a
amazing. when
ton
you
of art
It's so
galleries.
uplifting. And when my granddaughter came last week, she was blown away. She said, that studio is amazing. It makes you want to stay in there. It makes you want to just, all the colors, it makes you just happy, and it's uplifting. It's beautiful just to see all the creativity here.
I love seeing the relief in your granddaughter when she was here 2 weeks ago from when I first met her at the other studio.
Yeah.
A different person. You wouldn't
Yes.
even realize it was the same woman. Must have been the stress of graduation and residency was weighing on her, but we had never met her before. And then this light, beautiful, happy, fun-loving
Yeah.
physician supporting her. Grandma sits here, and I'm thinking, is this the same girl?
Yeah.
But this is what stress can do
You know,
until you breathe.
there's an article that I read today, 12 steps of what stress, I should have printed it, of what stress can do to you. You know, I believe that the reason people take a shower or a bath is to wash away yesterday, especially if it's bad. If it was good, don't take
Yeah.
a shower. Keep
Sure.
it going. It's like when I used to play ball. If I got into a heating streak, I didn't take a bath for weeks.
Ugh.
But but you take a shower, you wash it off, and you go again. And do you know that when you're feeling bad and somebody comes along and makes you feel good, it's contagious. That's what I love about the house. It's what it does. If you're having a bad day, come on down, have a cup of coffee. I'm not going to throw you out. Come on down and just relax.
People say, I just want to stay.
Yeah, it's like Ken
Lee said, yeah.
Lee said about the playground piece.
Right.
You know, I love Kenny Love's show. Now, Kenny Love he does a show based on love. And the bottom line is a grown man saying I love you is so uncommon, especially on what's going on today. It is so uncommon. But I saw his videos that he's going to be playing on his show tomorrow. I'm going to tell you something. I didn't get it. I get it now. I watch it, and I watch his show because it makes a whole lot of sense to me right now. Because hate is easy, and love ain't. Love is tough to hold on to. Forget about finding it, because if you do, you better hold on with both hands.
And it makes people uncomfortable, especially if they're angry or unforgiving or bitter or just nasty. They don't want to be around that. And he's just like flowing with this happiness and love, and he wants to pass it on. And a lot of people don't understand it, but you know what? That makes him happy. And if he could touch one person, that's great.
And just like you do, and how much I love seeing your granddaughter so happy in here a couple weeks ago. And I thought how blessed you are with such a supportive, amazing family. And they're from here to Seattle, so you have them across the country. And then to find out you're going to be a great grandma on the same day as your husband's birthday. It's pretty remarkable how God works
It is. It's
when
like
you just
a
keep
sign.
the faith, right?
It's like a sign from heaven.
And just play it forward. You know, you hold on to something great, play it forward.
You ready to take a commercial break? I just realized we've been on air for an hour and we've been talking. We haven't even taken a break yet. We're going to take a quick commercial break. For more information on merch, you can contact us here at the studio, 888-994-4995. Behind that shirt is Freddie. Studio A, tonight at 7 o'clock, we've got Touched by Angel Live. At 7:30, we've got Slick Speaks. But more to come because we've got Justin Mooney joining us of HH&K, Howard, Hinman, and Cattell, attorneys at law. Angel's going to hang out with us for a little bit and see what else we got going
Maybe
on.
they don't like the shirts.
Why? Because
I don't
nobody's
know, 'cause
calling?
ain't nobody
I
calling.
bet
I
Angel
did.
needs a shirt.
Someone commented. Check your comments.
I did. Slick wants a shirt. Don't you have a shirt?
Can I have another shirt?
No, not if you already have one. These are giveaways. These are for the fans, the friends.
It's a giveaway.
Give it to Slick.
I'll let you deal with Dawn on that one.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Justin Mooney is special counsel of the Florida office of Hinman, Howard, and Cattell attorneys. Justin's practice focuses on tax, estate planning, guardianship, probate, and trust administration. His passion is to provide clients with sophisticated estate plans which carry out their wishes, reduce any potential taxes, and preserve wealth for future generations. The attorneys of Hinman, Howard, and Cattell provide first-class legal services and have achieved a reputation for excellence for over a century, staying on the leading edge of the law. When you need representation or legal counsel, contact Justin Mooney at 561-276-1008 or jmooney@hhk.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Lady Ashley and this is my husband, Big John.
The muscle behind the hustle.
We are the creators of this very unique party planning business, Lady Ashley Party Planning. We are known for all the details. We specialize in gorgeous balloon decor, floral displays, and handle all of your party planning needs from A to Z.
Please feel free to visit our website at ladyashleypartyplanning.com. Our email is abpartyplanning@yahoo.com, and our phone number is 561-542-2296.
Cool, calm, collected. Needing a drink to end a long day, or maybe to start your vacation right? Gubba Rum is here to let you kick back and do just that. Inspired by a technique that dates back to the 1800s, these artisanal, organic, and naturally infused rums are made from pure cane and the finest fruits, spices, and herbs the world has to offer. Gubba Silver is infused with naturally shredded coconut, and Gubba Gold is infused with real vanilla bean. Simply shake and enjoy. Visit gubbarum.com to find the nearest location to buy or enjoy. All establishments have personally reviewed and enjoyed firsthand the wicked smoothness of Gubba Rum. 35% ABV and 70 proof. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth. Planning for the future should not be painful and needs to be discussed. From health, family, finances, allow qualified professionals to aid in your planning. Luhu Advisors have been serving South Florida for over 30 years. A licensed real estate broker, insurance agent, assisted living administrator, and certified senior advisor, Paul Solomon is the most qualified and well-rounded advisor for any task. Specializing in real estate, long-term care, life insurance and annuities, Social Security, government benefits, and senior housing. Luhu Advisors. Let us help you. Welcome to Sunshine Senior Solutions, a trusted medical supply company that puts patients first, offering quality home medical equipment and supplies. Sunshine Senior Solutions is here to help simplify the lives of patients, caregivers, and their families. From canes and crutches to diabetic glucose monitors, your health, safety, and comfort is our #1 priority. Call or visit our website, Sunshine Senior Solutions, bringing the heart back to healthcare.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
This portion of today's show is brought to you by the Brooklyn Cafe Show Coffee, made with organic Arabica beans.
And welcome back. Can I tell you something?
Please.
I made some of that Brooklyn Cafe coffee. It's pretty good.
It's delicious. Everybody loves it.
I sent Slick over to Sunny Stop. Did she yeah, did you see the coffee stands over there?
Yeah.
It's still there?
Yeah.
She says it needs to be grounded.
Well, I've gotten a few requests for the coffee to be ground, so I'm going to give the company a call and see if we can order some bags of ground.
But I gotta tell you, it's pretty good. Do you drink coffee?
I'm in cup number 3, yes. But then I do try to balance it with my water bottle. So I should do it in between, but instead I just have that big bottle in Studio A that I will drink.
Well, we have to take this with us when we go to that secret place so that people can taste the cafe.
Good idea. I love the markets that are there and all the
Unbelievable place.
all the great things.
We
Absolutely.
may even have some donuts to take with us.
That'd be great. Very nice.
He knows I'm talking about him because he's smart.
We haven't had Justin Mooney join us in a little bit. He's been away, but we've got attorney Justin Mooney of Howard, Hinman, and Cattell joining us today. Estate planning, real estate, Slick, it kind of goes hand in hand with your show tonight on buying, getting things all ready, what you got to do, going away. I was thinking of Justin. My sister's leaving for Africa tonight, South Africa for 3 weeks, and all the documents that I hope she has in place. I'm only assuming that she does. I do not know, but I guess it's a little too late to ask
I'm
now.
also hoping that she doesn't need them.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
But the funny thing is, the Slick Show tonight is talking about how millennials cannot afford rents anymore, and I guess 10 of them are going to be living in an apartment in order to make that
It's called a
big bill.
tenement, isn't it?
A tenement, that's cute. Nice play on words. So you got 10 kids living in an apartment because
Called a
they can't
tenement,
afford the
yes.
rents. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. Now your ears must have been ringing because we have Paul in. We've had Paul in a lot.
Paul Solomon, yeah.
Solomon? Solomon. I know him as Dr. Paul. But we've had him a lot because he keeps sharing these tidbits.
I bet
with
Angel
us.
does not know this. Have you taken Social Security yet? Yes. You got to talk into the mic. Did you know, it's a great tidbit for you, that before you file for Social Security, there's something you check, and I don't know what it is, that your spouse is entitled to half of the amount of yours as well as you get yours? Yes. I never
You
knew
did-
that.
you didn't
You
know
knew that.
Well, what happens is they see which one is more, but you could take your spouse's first, and then you could switch over to yours. Well, I mean, if you passed, if you're a widow or a
But you can do it when you're alive.
No, when you're alive.
when you're alive too,
Yeah.
that I didn't know.
He also talked about reverse mortgages. Now, I used to be in the industry 17, 20 years ago. I didn't believe in reverse mortgages. But then he talked to me about the changes they've made. So I want to do a seminar, and I want the two of you there because I want to do a senior seminar. There are people right now opting in to do Social Security right now. And before you do any of that, you should watch that show we did. But she knows seniors. So we should give this word out to seniors going on with some of the things that we're talking about. So we were talking about Justin because he was talking about how you transfer some of the things that need to be done when he quarterbacks the team. You're like the tight end. Clayton was the wide receiver. There are different players on this team that can make your whole life more comfortable. So I'm just looking at her. I said, she's a good asset to
bring
doing
into
that.
all of this.
And Paul should be
Exactly.
on that show. Justin should be on that show. Diane and all of these people,
Yep.
and they're all doing well because
Yep.
everybody's talking to everybody and referring businesses to one another.
Absolutely. What's happening new in the world of estate planning?
You know, things are the same. We haven't had significant tax changes, but with interest rates going up, there's new opportunities for what's called grantor retained annuity interests, and it's mainly if you have concern with the estate tax. What you do is you put assets that you expect are going to be appreciating better than the applicable federal rate, which I think is closing in on 4, or might it be at 4 now? But if you expect to beat that, which most financial advisors should be beating that, then all the excess amount, like if you put $1 million in and you make, $200,000 after 2 years, that $200,000 goes to your beneficiaries without any gift tax implications on it. Then you get the $1 million back. So it's something that is becoming more popular right now, just because the interest rates are where they're at right now.
So you keep your principal, but your beneficiaries get the interest?
Yep.
And you can do
It's-
that while you're alive?
Yeah. Well, it's if you die before that 2-year period, then all of that gets included in your estate. The $1 million plus whatever increased amount there is, all the appreciation.
Again, all this information, that's unbelievable.
But this is why I'm saying, I think, are the tax laws going to change for next year?
Right now, there's nothing slated to be changed. The only thing that's on the books to change is 2025. The estate tax exemption is going to be something like a little over $12 million, and then in 2026, because of the sunset provisions that Trump enacted with the 2017 Tax Act, some of the stuff didn't get majority support, so it's only on the books for 10 years. So it expires 2025. So 2026, the exemption amount's going to roll back to about $6 million.
Now, because inflation is there, the gas, the war, and this, and all these changes, do you anticipate, because I guess is Biden's going to be there till next year, do you anticipate any changes in the tax law?
No, I don't think anyone's expecting anything to come down the pipeline
So
right
it's
now.
going to stay the way it was
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's important to know because you want to know what's coming so you can prepare for it.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons you should talk to him because you want to know what's going to happen next year and if there are changes that are going to happen. And everybody's affected differently. I'm affected differently. You are. You know, any of the senior community, I've been shocked by some of the stuff we learned this week.
A lot of great information.
Yeah, and there was, some crazy proposals floating out last year. Like one of the things was basically having capital gains taxed at a higher rate. So if that was going to pass, a lot of people were looking at just selling the asset prior and just taking whatever the capital gain tax rate it was at that time. So it's not always the estate tax. It's a lot of, it's mainly for the wealthy, but also a lot of people have long-term assets that they'd rather get hit at that 20% rather than what the graduated rates were looking at. I think it was topping out at 37% is what the proposed rates were.
Right now it's at 20?
Yeah, for long-term, the maximum rate for long-term capital gains is 20%.
So if you have a stock that's doing fantastic and you decide to sell your stock because you need to pay off some other debts,
Yeah.
you pay capital gains tax on that at a 20%?
Depending on what your tax bracket is, but for most people, it's going to be either 15 or 20%. And then it's long-term capital gains if you've held the asset for 1 year and 1 day. Anything prior to that is short-term capital gain. You pay whatever your tax bracket is.
What if I borrow against the capital gain? Do I still pay tax on the loan?
No, because you have to pay that back. Like if you could just get any other kind of loan, like I got student loans, we got a mortgage on our house, we still owe the money. So your wealth, basically income tax looks at, did your wealth increase in any measurable way? And in this case, if you're taking out a loan for $600,000, you have a debt of $600,000. So it's a wash.
So can I take it off the capital gains and leave the stock in place?
Say that again? So what do you...
So she was giving an example when
Yeah.
you sell the stock. I want to borrow against the equity of the stock, maybe 50%.
Yeah, you're not going to have any capital gains because you're not selling the stock then.
And then, so this is a way around of avoiding the capital gains tax right now. You want to put the money back because when you sell it, you still have to pay the money back,
Yeah.
right? So there's other ways,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
It's just deferring it.
That's right. Baseball players do it all the time.
You always have another way of deferring things. That's the amazing thing to me, Freddie. You always find this
Justin,
other
am I
way of...
wrong?
Well, yeah. So we have this principle that they drill into you in my tax program, and it's tax paid later is tax saved, essentially. So if you can just keep kicking the can down the road, waiting to pay the tax, then
I
you're
like
fine.
this guy. Now that's the way I was taught.
That is exactly
But
how
this
you
is,
do
you know
it.
why I'm saying all of this. There's other ways of doing things, not selling all the time.
And then there are people now that are starting to travel abroad.
Yeah.
Even the millennials, kids in college, right? There's graduation, there's great big college trips.
Yeah,
What-
they can't afford rent, but they can fly overseas. So.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I think I saw that to minimum wage in Florida, they have to work 96 hours a week to afford rent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, you know, they fly over because they take a student loan and they pocket money to go over because it's part of tuition.
Yeah.
Well, there's different ways that you go over, but besides the money of it, if you're going to travel overseas, what documents should you put in place, even if you're not a senior?
I would definitely recommend having your healthcare surrogate in place, just to make sure that your parents, if you become, injured or something like that, unable to make your own decisions, then they can step in and make those decisions for you. I'm not sure what the laws are in every country, but I'm sure that they'll accept a document stating that this is the person I choose as my power of attorney, healthcare surrogate, the person in charge when I'm incapacitated.
So that's
that
all
kind of
you
thing.
really need.
At a bare minimum, I would say have at least a healthcare surrogate.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you something. Somebody believes they're gonna pull the plug on you.
People don't realize accidents happen, and if you are
Yeah.
not a minor and you're heading overseas just even for a college graduation trip or just for fun, and something, heaven forbid, happens and you need someone to care for you, there's nothing one there. So
Yeah.
it's much better to put this in place ahead of time.
I'm confused about heading overseas right now anyway. They took
People
the
are
mask
doing it.
mandate away and everybody's applauding on the plane and okay, let's get sick together. Yes!
But it's important to have that put together when you're starting to travel again, even for young people.
I know. I was asked, am I ready to go back to Puerto Rico to take care of some? I said, no, I'm not. Sorry, I ain't doing it. But you should have all of those paperwork together, have it
everything
in
in
place.
place.
Because if you don't, it's going to hurt you a whole lot more. I mean, we've been saying it for, I don't know, what has it been, 2 years, COVID, 2.5 years?
Yeah.
We've been saying to put it together. And you know something, ladies and gentlemen, not to blow my own horn, but there is always another way. You just have to find somebody that knows the facts, can quote the facts. And for those of you who don't and constantly disagree with what I say, I have people sitting in front of me that will prove that what I'm saying is doable. Doable. Now, a lot of people don't do it because all of a sudden they think that,
They know
oh, you
more.
think you know more than me. That ain't the deal.
No.
I'm trying to help you here. And you know what? You can pay the wrong way or you could do it the right way. All I'm saying, he knows what I'm talking about.
It's crazy, Justin. You offer people ideas and help, and they know you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. We're thinking you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
really listen to what we get to share.
Yeah, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I think that, even sometimes I have a hard time accepting advice from other people. And sometimes you just need to hear it, once, twice, 3 times. Like I'll get my wife's opinion on something and then call my sister. My sister does the exact same thing. And I'm like, oh, we should do this. My wife's like, it's literally what I said. And I'm like, yeah, but I need a majority. People
He's
telling
one
me
of
what
those
to
guys.
do.
Now, Angel's in a different situation. She's a mom and a grandma and a soon-to-be great-grandma.
Oh.
So for people that have multi-generations, if they were to set an estate plan, do most people say, I'm going to leave this to my children, and then they distribute? Or can you actually say, I'd like this to go to my children, I'd like this to go to my grandchildren, and you know what,
Yeah.
maybe this to my great?
Yeah, it all depends on what the family relationship is. But I've had things where, the children are independently wealthy, and so they skip a generation and they give things to their grandkids and set things aside for them because they know that the grandkids are probably going to have a greater need than their children. But yeah, I've had it happen. Mainly, it comes down to what the makeup of each family is, and the parents understanding what the needs of their children are and their grandchildren and great grandchildren.
Now, her grandchildren, hopefully she's going to have more and more great grandchildren. Can you not list them by name because every
Yeah.
time you have another child, you have to go in and change your documents?
Yeah, so what we do is generally we call it a class. So you'll say, I give, $1 million to be split among my grandchildren living at my death. So that's who it would be.
So it's just an overall. Because
Yeah.
you think you're going to have many, many more great grandchildren, God willing, right?
Yeah, I think so.
She's talking because she can be a grandma soon. Now I gotta ask you. Well, you're next in line. I gotta ask you. Remember the day when they used to give a savings bond?
Yes.
That was the
$50.
biggest-
I got a lot of those $50
That was the
savings
biggest
bonds.
gift you could give a child. Now he's talking about, well, $1 million stay. Let me put it in class.
Yes, my kids got a $50 savings bond every month of my grandparents.
I offered them to my grandson, and I don't even know if you can get them anymore. But
You
I
can,
said,
but they take forever to mature.
my son said they don't want that. They want cash.
Yeah.
But it's a nice way of investment, so different things to think about.
Just a different era.
All
Now
right.
they want a stock.
They
Give them a
want
stock,
stock.
an IBM stock. Don't give them Netflix though.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's take a
give them
commercial
Netflix.
break. If you have any questions, give us a call to studio, 888-994-4995. Studio A. More to come with Justin Mooney. We've got Angel Kinsey's, and the door keeps opening and closing, so I don't know who else is here. It's Slick, the ghost. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Amy Reshevsky can help you choose the right piece that will add some magic to your space. Amy Reshevsky has a wide range of art, from abstracts to mosaic tapestries, and she paints on different surfaces, such as reverse painting on glass, tables, wall hangings, and sculptures. Her work can be ordered online at amyrashevsky.com, or you can come in and see it in real time at the Brooklyn Cafe Art Gallery. She also does commission work, so if you have an idea in mind, she can make it a reality. She invites you to reach out to her at Facebook or at email at amyrashevsky@gmail.com. That's amyrashevsky@gmail.com. Have an artful day. Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Hi everyone, I'm Alana and I am standing in J&D Cakes over off of Federal Highway by Meisner Park in Boca Raton. And wow, does it smell delicious in here. Owned by Joel Basco and Daniela Borquez, they are the ones in the business as far as cakes. From weddings and birthdays, special events, holidays, novelty, and known for their sculpture cakes, you have to check them out. If they look familiar to you, you may have seen them as they were featured on Cake Hunters. They were the winner of Food Network's Cake Wars, as well as returners and finalists on their Champs episode.
Hi, I'm Joel and welcome to J&D Cakes of Boca Raton. We're right across Meisner Park and we're open from Tuesday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So come by if you can. If you want to order from us, please call us at 561-569-1860.
Breathing through my troubles, trying to be smart, living with another, passion in my heart, partners come and go, always with a twirl.
Providing music you will enjoy. JM Production performers will brighten up your stage. Condominiums and residential communities, nightclubs and restaurants that want to provide top quality singers and entertainers for their social events, banquets, celebrations, and their customers use JM Productions to ensure that they have an uplifting and beautiful event. Now, tune in for the show.
Have you been injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or through the negligence of another? The lawyers at Shane M. Farnsworth, PA have over 40 years of combined experience representing injured individuals and their families. Call us today at 561-272-8337 for a free case evaluation and the answers to your legal questions. Were you injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? Don't let the insurance companies take advantage of you. Contact us now to learn about your options and to protect your rights.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
This portion of today's show is brought to you by Justin Mooney, Special Counsel of the Florida Office of Hinman Howard and Cattell Attorneys.
And we're back. See if Bria would take his picture. You ready to take your picture now?
So Bree can take his picture and Slick can swap out.
Yep, see, so we take the board. All right, and we're back.
Have you done your estate plans?
I am
Thinking?
I am in the process.
Of thinking?
No thinking.
You know what you want to do?
Yeah, it's all being laid out. It's a little complicated because I got some other things that I have to talk to certain people about. But
How would that be? But you feel more comfortable putting things in place now with the great team that we have around us?
yeah, well, I'm not a young chicken anymore, so it's about time that I take advantage of the fact. You know, sometimes the logical mind sort of persuades you into doing the right move.
Really?
Yeah. So you.
He's watching the Mets game.
Yeah.
On his phone at the moment, Justin.
Yes, I am. Because
Really?
there ain't nothing like. Let's
really?
go Mets. I'm not watching. I'm not watching. I'm just keeping it. But sometimes persuasion is done because people speak the right language. And everybody has an opinion about the way they understand things that work until you don't.
Well, that's the other side of the coin. Everyone has an opinion of what you should do with your life.
Sure.
Right?
And including telling them to live theirs.
Right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think people like to think they're smarter than everyone else. I mean, I've seen a lot of people give advice that they don't take themselves, and I'm guilty of it. You know, like trying to get my life insurance in order, and I'm like, it's always good to have, especially when you have a kid, because if I die, then it's going to be a struggle for my wife to afford taking care of this baby who seems to be insatiable. That's one of our nicknames for him, is the insatiable Hulk.
Can you put up his camera, please? Thanks.
Because he eats, it seems like nonstop.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You know,
Right?
you know that continues for the next 18 years.
Yeah. Well, what's weird is my wife told me you'll have like some adolescents that they'll like eat like once in the morning and then just like not for the rest of the day. Like kids are weird. We'll see
That's
though.
what he does?
No, not yet. He eats like,
All day long.
yeah, I think the longest stretch we've gotten in the past 2 or 3 weeks was like 2.5 hours of sleep. Yeah, he slept for like 2.5 hours and then woke up freaking out. Like, they don't really have a concept of time, so they're either all their needs are met or it's they feel like they're a prisoner of war. Like, he's just screaming like he's being treated like a war criminal. And we joke that he's screaming out for our neighbor to come and save him. He's like, please, Jody, come help me. They're torturing me.
You know, your son is missing his mother's heartbeat.
Yeah.
So, and I know that this is because he's young, but one of the things that he's feeling nervous about is that he's not in the womb.
Yeah.
So you have this transition, and it takes a few months.
Yeah. They
You
call it
could
the
have
fourth
that-
trimester.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you could put it on one of those little poopy sacky things.
Yeah, we have those.
Do you notice he's calmer?
Yeah, yeah. There's like the 5 S's. It's like swaddling, shushing. I forget the other 3, but it's supposed to mimic being in the womb. So we looked into it and we wondered if he was colicky because he likes to contact nap, like he refuses to be put down. He always wants to be in contact with us. And I was wondering if like colic is misunderstood and it's just those kids have a higher need of contact. And if people just put them down, like, I don't know why he's screaming. And I'm like, well, when he does that, we just hold him and we just like pat him on the back for like 30 minutes and hope that he goes to sleep. But he's not screaming then.
Which is good.
What kind of milk is he using? Is he drinking?
Oh, he's still just drinking breast milk.
She's nursing.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not. Colic usually comes with the milk. I know that happened with Freddie. I had to change that for a while. But I found out, like, Freddie would cry all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So I found out because Michelle was going through a certain engorgement or stuff that she, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I put him on my chest.
Yeah.
So here I am, a grown man with him on my chest.
That's skin-to-skin contact.
And he would sleep. I wouldn't because naturally I got a kid on my chest.
Yeah, and you don't want to roll over and kill him.
That's
or
so
drop
by your
him off the side of
attorney,
the
exactly.
bed. But the bottom line is he's withdrawing from being in the womb.
Yeah.
This is one of the reasons if you're pregnant, you should put music in the womb.
I'm enjoying this father-to-father conversation. I'm going to just sit back and enjoy.
Oh, I learned a lot. You know, Gio
I'm
had
enjoying this whole
This is why,
situation.
you know, you're the older sibling, right?
Yes.
All the mistakes are done with the older sibling because you don't know. It's
Yeah.
not mistakes, it's that you don't know. The second one that comes along, he gets a good ride because all the mistakes you made on the first one, you
Yeah.
don't do with the second one.
You don't have time to do
Yeah.
them on the second.
Yeah, and you don't know what the hell you're doing.
Right, when your second one's crying, they're going to have to sit and cry because you got something with the first one. It's a whole,
Yeah.
today's actually National Kindergarten Day.
My mother, I called her when Freddie was born. I said, Mom, how do you change a pamper? Because Michelle went to work or whatever, or she was in bed, whatever. How do you change a pamper? So I must have done it wrong because the next thing I know, this kid was like leaking everywhere. And I do mean leaking.
Yeah.
You still using cloth diapers?
Yeah, we're still using cloth. It's funny that you mentioned like not knowing how to change a diaper. My son's diaper was the first one I changed, And I was doing it in a hospital, and I just felt like I was going so slow with it. And now, like, that was using disposable ones in the hospital, but now we're like I can change them. Like, it's so easy. You just, like, I feel like I'm getting better all the time. We're learning what his routines are, and it's amazing to see him grow. And we're hoping that all this dependence these needs that we're meeting will foster independence later. That's the thing, is like if they know they're in a safe environment, then they can, feel free to explore. So we'll
He's
see.
only 3 months old.
Now
If that.
he's 7 weeks today. Yeah, he's 7 weeks today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So he's not even 3 months old yet.
Yeah. But no, like, he doesn't like to be put down. Like, the only time he sleeps not touching one of us is like 2 or 3 hours at night when we like give him his bath, feed him, and put him in his bassinet. And then other than that, he has to be sleeping on one of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you have like toys, black and white toys for him to play
Yeah,
with?
so we've started, he doesn't grasp anything, but we do have like the high contrast cards. It's like, white and black stripes, and he'll follow it.
That will stimulate him more and worry less about
Yeah.
the womb, because this is just separation anxiety that he's going
Yeah.
through right now. He doesn't know the difference. A child that gets cold thinks that it's in trouble. And a child that thinks it's in trouble, the first thing they do is scream their bloody heads off.
Yeah.
So you have to make them feel as comfortable as you can. I learned a lot.
I'm impressed by this whole
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you,
knowledge
I
base.
was the baby whisperer.
You're like the grandpa at finest, Pop-Pop.
I was the baby whisperers. I'm gonna tell you, my kids, I learned them the hard way. Freddie was colic and everything else. Gio, piece of cake. And I used to get the 12 to 6 o'clock feeds because I used to work. So I came home from whatever my midnight job was, and then I used to take a shower, and here we go. But I learned a lot about, my sons are two different animals, completely.
Yeah.
Completely. You can't assume that what you're doing with this one, you're going to be able to do with the next one. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know, sometimes I question whether or not you get your personality and your traits and stuff from your environment or you're born with it, but seeing like how different kids can be just from like birth, and you can't do the same thing with like two kids. It's interesting to see that maybe everything's just baked in already into the brain, their whole personality.
Whole nature-nurture situation.
Yeah.
And the fun part is that you and your wife will have different beliefs as the child gets older.
Yeah.
You're on the same page right now because neither one of you sleeps anymore.
Yeah.
Neither one of you have time with one another anymore.
Yeah.
Neither one of you so you're on the same page right now. This is the best time.
Well, yeah, this is just the bare minimum. Like, all you have to do is keep them alive. And then once they start becoming social, you have to start worrying about, like, are you raising him the right way? Like, right now, it's like, is he fed? Is he clean?
Does he sleep it right?
Does he sleep? That's like it.
Just pure needs right now.
Yeah. And then it's going to be like, oh, is he reading enough? Are we providing enough, like mental stimulation to grow his brain? Yeah.
That's the complicated one. The
And
more,
here's what happens with educated parents.
with that, I'm going to tell you,
When
there's
you're
a whole.
educated parents and you're reading the 5 S's, and there are people
Yeah.
that are just happy that their kids are eating or sleeping.
Yeah.
But when you're two highly educated parents, successful parents, you take it to another level.
It's another level because you guys are going to have disparities even on what music should we have tonight.
But
It's usually
fantastic.
whatever I choose because she doesn't ever remember any music artists.
I would like your wife very much. Freddie, what do you want to hear today? I don't know any artists either.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way that there is only compromise. There is no opinion. So somebody's got to give in. Now, women carry the child.
Yeah, so I kind of defer to her.
You have
I was
to.
like, it's your baby. I didn't do much to help.
You have to because they carry the burden. They're the ones that have the baby, what do you call that afterwards?
Postpartum depression.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
They're the ones that they change. Women change, and you can't blame them. And we get jealous of the fact that we can't deliver kids, so we don't know what that feeling is like. So
Yeah.
I learned at a very young age to say, okay, we'll do it your way. Now, if there was something that I didn't like, then I would mention it. I said, listen, I really am not comfortable with this, but I'm willing to meet you a third of the way. And the challenges, I just love it because the challenges that await you, you're right, educated parents are different. See, I wasn't so
Because
educated.
we overthink it. We overthink everything.
I wasn't educated. I believe, let's go play ball. Let's get the kid out to the park. I used to be at the park playing baseball, football, and everything else. And I purposely changed what I did for a living because I anticipated having.
How's that going for you?
Not too good, to tell you again. I anticipated wanting to spend more time with my kids. And I have Freddie, and then I waited 5 years to have the second one.
Yeah.
So that was a change. I had to go through this whole thing all over again. So they're 5 years apart.
Did you have life insurance when your kids were young?
I used to sell it.
Did you have it though?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had the whole nine.
I'm thinking
Whoa,
what
whoa,
Justin said. He talks it. He sits with clients.
Yeah.
Do you have your life insurance? Do you have your estate plans? And they say, do you? No, not yet.
Or trying to budget it right now. But no, it's funny that you mentioned, like, you defer to what your, the mom says. And so my wife told me the other day, like, I was trying to get him to calm down, and she suggested a few things. Eventually calmed him down, and she said, when I'm suggesting things to you, it's not a suggestion. I'm telling you, I know what he needs. I was like, okay, I'll try to remember that in the future.
And you have to be careful how you apologize for not knowing that you were supposed to do something, because you don't want to get into that whole, oh man, I remember all this. I used to be told by Michelle, she used to say, the kids want to separate and conquer us. And the way she said it to me, she says, I'm a little afraid of you too. I'm a little afraid of you too. I think I'm going to side with them. Because kids like to ask you, and then they wait until you're along, and they'll ask her.
Yeah.
As it goes along.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of psychology that you learn as you go along. And then when they get into their teens, man,
Then they start hating you.
Is all over. The game has changed to no end. Then you try to be your kid's best friend. That doesn't work too well either. Then you try to be best friends with their friends because you think that influence will help on the other. Did all that, it works for a little bit, worked for maybe 4 years, and then the game changes again. Wait till you're a grandma. What are they gonna call you?
I have no idea. No one's even married yet, so I don't even know.
Children don't have a timetable.
I do not know what the situation is.
What do you want to be called?
I do not know. I hadn't thought about it yet.
I do not know. You want them to say, I don't know you?
I don't know. I'm going to enjoy Justin
Lulu.
and his.
What
I'm
about
going to
Lulu?
enjoy yours and your grandsons. And when
What
they
about-
came here for Freddie's birthday, it was like, rah, right?
They almost
One
tore the
climbed
place
up here.
apart.
They almost tore the
I
place
told my son,
apart.
thank you, but don't they? They're going to call you Lulu, I heard.
Really?
Who the hell is Lulu?
I do not know. I do not know. All right, let's take a commercial break. When we come back, let us know your questions on estate planning for Justin Mooney, and then we can revisit that he also has his LLM. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
Slick. Bree.
Is somebody on
Who's
the board?
on board? Well, I guess we're going to keep talking until they hear us. Hey guys, anyone running the board? Thanks.
Creative, enchanting, whimsical. Artist Gina Bella is always creating artwork based on real stories and emotions, expressed through Italian papers, paints, flowers, metals, and clay. Her feelings and stories come to life. Complete with glittery diamond dust over paintings and pottery, Gina Bella is always creating new pieces and commissions. You can find her work in staging homes, family Christian bookstores, New Jersey boutiques, and the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery, where she offers personal guided tours of her latest art pieces. Gina can also be found hosting weekend art camps, where she teaches adults and children pottery, painting, and jewelry. For more information on Gina Bella and her art, contact livinglifeartfully@gmail.com or give a call to 954-857-5444. We hope you're enjoying this episode of the Brooklyn Cafe TV show. Whether you enjoy watching in the mornings or afternoons, you can now watch with your favorite merchandise. Choose from the Brooklyn Cafe t-shirts, ranging from sizes small to 3XL. Colors available include black, dark heather, and navy. Feeling chilly? Just check out our latest hoodie with over 9 colors to choose from. Sip on some Brooklyn Cafe coffee with Dawn and Freddie in a matching mug as seen on set. Brooklyn hats and special seasonal items are always popping up and available upon request. To purchase, you can visit our online store at brooklyncafe.tv/shop. Happy shopping!
Oh, what a beautiful morning. I am so glad today we got an early start. Where are we headed anyway?
Who knows? Wherever this glorious day takes us, and we'll take Don Pablo along too. Rich and flavorful with low acidity and notes of caramel. No matter where you're going or where you end up, Don Pablo never disappoints.
Excuse me, is that Don Pablo coffee?
Sure is.
Do you have any more?
Sure do. Then hop in.
No matter where life takes you, Don Pablo Coffee is always there to pick you up.
Coffee News is a fun, family-friendly weekly publication provided free to restaurants, coffee shops, and waiting areas for customers to enjoy. Grow your business today through the power of effective, affordable advertising. Coffee News is an active marketing medium specializing in the ongoing weekly promotion of your business. This builds awareness for your company so you become known as the leader of your industry and develop brand awareness so people think of you first when they want your services or products. Maximize your visibility and achieve outstanding results. For more information on Coffee News, contact Sunrise Coffee News at mail.com or give them a call at 954-951-7870.
The Spa Facial by Maria has amazing facials, body treatments, and sugar body waxing for any special occasion. All our spa treatments have organic and natural ingredients concentrated just for your skin. We guarantee all natural products help you with that extra feeling of zen. The Spa Facial offers organic facials, foot detox, aromatherapy, manscaping, and face and body waxing. Call the Spa Facial for your spa appointment with Maria at 954-213-5034 or visit her website at thespafacial.info.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
This portion of the show is brought to you by Luhu Senior Advisors. Let us help you. Now, back to the show.
Luhu, let us help you. That's a strange.
A lot of great information. Have you been able to work with Paul a little bit?
Yeah, we've met up a few times and gotten to talk about, a couple planning strategies.
Nice.
Very smart guy. He's been in the game for a while.
It's so great that we get to network and collaborate. We had a client in this morning, and she was talking about some things. I said, let me introduce you to somebody else we had on earlier this week. And as we walked out, their card was sitting right there. So it's really nice I was able to go, here you go, and make the connection.
And it's nice because you get somebody like Angel who has a big influence in the senior industry. It just keeps expanding.
Are you finding you're working more with a senior population or younger baby boomers or even younger?
I think usually like baby boomers is what I see a lot of the coming in, mainly because they are the ones that do a lot of planning, I feel like, and actually have a sense of mortality. A lot of the younger people, I feel like, I thought I was going to live forever, and then I had, my son was born, and now I'm always thinking about the future and like what I'm going to leave when I'm gone for him. So it's been, I think mainly kind of the baby boomer population is what I service mostly.
From 60s and up.
Yeah.
Could you think about, I guess unless you're doing guardianship, which
Yeah.
everyone should really put wills in place for their children at
Yeah.
the minimum of that.
Yeah.
But you see these, I just saw a guy was hit by a motorcycle, 43 years old, out in Utah, 5 children. I mean, I think of Wayne all the time. I hope he's doing well. I haven't seen him in a very long time. These crazy stories you hear because you think it's not going to be me, and then all
Yeah.
the probate and the problems that you go through, even if you don't have a big estate,
Yeah.
things that happen.
Yeah, and then you mentioned guardianship, which is what I practice, and it's something I've been seeing a lot more recently. They've said like even COVID, they've shown it shrinks your brain a little bit. Like people who even had mild cases. I saw something else, talking about having kids earlier and the lack of sleep. It shows that if you continuously have a lack of sleep, it's attributed to later in life getting Alzheimer's.
True
And
that.
so it seems like people are living longer, but their brains aren't keeping up with that, with them towards the end, and it's something they need to, concern themselves with now is putting a plan in place if and when they become mentally incapacitated, unable to care for themselves. What do they want to have happen?
Well, is there anything, I don't want to sound harsh, that you can do that? I mean, you can't have assisted deaths. That is illegal to do an assisted
Not
death.
in Florida. I have provided in some people's documents that if they are in a persistent vegetative state or unable to live comfortably and they're living in pain, that they can be transported to a state which allows physician-assisted suicide.
Wow.
I think Oregon is one of those states.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So
Yeah.
people are putting that because you think about it, and your parents will say, I don't ever want to live in this state. So if I get to this state, put a pillow over my
It's
face.
usually
Well,
New
you
Jersey.
can't do that, right?
It's usually New Jersey. That's the state they don't want to live in.
That's right. You can't even drive through New Jersey.
But you can actually put things in place for your quality of life.
Yeah. And, it's very important to, involve those loved ones who you're going to choose to be appointed and carry out those directions. You want to talk to them because you don't want them to just be blindsided, just be handed this piece of paper when you're incapacitated. And it's like, yeah, your parent wants you to take them somewhere to die. I think it's very important, and I think it's more common that we're seeing people involve their family and in all their end-of-life decisions, and that, kind of passing the torch and, carrying on the family legacy, something like that.
There have to be a whole lot of ethical meetings and conversations to be had, because when you're putting this in place and you're thinking, I do not want to live my life with Alzheimer's, or I do not want to live in a capacity where I don't know my family, and you put that in writing, for example, I'm just saying, and then your family says, but we may have supported Dad when he wrote that, but now that Dad is like this, we can't assist ending Dad's life, because how do you deem quality of life? Because we get to see Dad. It's a whole lot of ethical conversations happening.
Yeah, and you would just want to make sure that you specify as many things as you can in there. It's similar to the living wills that I draft, and I put in my healthcare surrogate documents that if whoever's appointed is not following through with any currently valid living will, then they are no longer fit to serve. And it goes on to the next person until they'll find someone that will carry out their living will wishes.
So what does that mean?
So after speaking with my wife about this, she has said that in a lot of hospitals, people won't pull the plug even when there's a living will. And the hospital's not going to step in because they could potentially face liability. Even if they wouldn't be found guilty, they just don't want to take on any potential lawsuit. But you'll have kids that just say, we're not going to follow through with this living will. And there's no one else to step in and say, no, we're going to give it effect. Because the kids have the power to pull the plug or not. They're the healthcare surrogates. So I've added a provision in my documents that say if whoever is named as the healthcare surrogate, if they're not following through with any living will that I have on file, then they shall be deemed unfit and shall be removed as my healthcare surrogate, and the next person in place will serve.
I saw a TV show where there was someone inside the house, 911, and the sister came and knocked on the door. And there was no response. So they called 911. They broke in, and the lady's on the floor. And the EMS lady brought her back to life. You know, she had no pulse. She was dead. And they brought her back with the gadget. Okay, so they go in, and she's suing them because she has a bracelet
It's DNR.
that says DNR. So you couldn't see it, and because the sister was screaming like a mad woman, you got to save my sister, you got to save my sister, this EMS worker now is in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, this is serious.
Yeah, wow.
So she decided not to sue for hundreds of millions of dollars, because that's what they're looking at, but she wanted the EMS worker fired. And the whole show was about trying to get her to convince her, the sister, to change her mind. And she says, you don't understand. I need you to understand the reason I have this. There's a reason.
Yeah.
Because she was in stage 4 cancer. She didn't want to be saved.
Well, and also you have to think about the quality of life. Like, you're gonna like cave someone's chest in doing CPR if they have an advanced age, and then their quality of life after recovering is not going to be much. And there's also, you know, with do not intubate, there's a concern of, you know, you'll just be a vegetable.
Has your perspective changed now that you have a son?
A little bit. I still have a living will, and I want the plug pulled if I'm brain dead. But there's a lot of. I'm trying to eat better and exercise more and be, you know, healthy. You know, I don't want him to be in his 20s and become an orphan, or at least just have his mom left.
It's going to change.
It's interesting, right?
It's going to change. I was just going to say, before you even asked that question, you're a better, what you do for a living today, you're better at because you're more sensitive to it.
Yeah.
And as your boy grows and he begins to play ball, goes to school, have friends, God hoping he becomes a special athlete and he's chosen to play in the majors, you're going to want to live longer. You're going to want to be healthier. You're going to want to be there more. So he's going to change your life. I said this to my son Gio, and it's already happened to him. And Joey's only, what, 2?
3, yeah.
3? And Freddie is the same. Your life changes right before your eye, and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
Everything changes when you have kids. And when you become a grandparent, you get to witness all of this.
I'm looking at all your words of wisdom you now impart on Justin.
Well, because I can see what he's going through.
Yeah.
And listen, when I have Freddie, my parents and Michelle's great-grandmother was still alive. She helped me immensely, taught me the difference of right and wrong. And they said to me, you know, it isn't that your life is over, but now his life is first. And all the decisions you make, so you're going to make a decision. You know, wait till you plan a trip and you're leaving him with grandma or somebody. You're going to think and say, man, do I want to take this? Like, I went to Hawaii, and I had a debate about whether or not to go because it's a 13-hour flight. I don't know what the hell it was.
Yeah.
And it's scary. And your life gets changed because you don't want to leave your kids in other people's hands, right?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, we've had like foster pets before, and we leave on vacation for like a weekend. We ask our friends, be like, we send pictures of our, you know, foster pets. Want to make sure they're doing okay. And I think it'll be even crazier when we leave our son at home with, you know, babysitter or friends, because we're trying to plan like a weekend getaway, or at least a night to get away and just spend a night out of the house. And we're like, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. It's probably going to affect my wife a lot more because I think it's crazy how attached she is to him, and how, you know, fathers will never be like that with their sons because they didn't carry them for 9 months, and then, you know, yeah, it's wild.
We catch up, Justin.
I was going to say, do you
We
think?
catch up.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
totally
tell you,
just different.
My boys, and you see that I'm very close to both my guys. We catch up. You know, we give them the first 10 years. The next 10 after that, they're going to be really, really close to you. And you're going to, right now you appreciate what your wife did because she did something that as men we can't do it. You know,
Arnold Schwarzenegger did it in that movie.
Yeah, that's a movie.
It's funny. I never thought of it that way until you shared that with me, like last month. We just do, at least me, it's just I did what I did. It's what you did. You have children. because that's what women do.
Yeah. But we
It
can't
didn't-
do it.
It never changed my thought of what a father's role is.
We did a show where I said the reason that men look at women a certain way is because we're jealous.
Yeah.
We can't give birth. We don't know what that whole thing is like. And you can wear the fake belly and all that. It's not the same. We just don't know, so we are envious because no matter
Yeah.
how great men think they are, the one thing we can never do is be a mother.
Yeah.
But you're fathers, and it's
a different.
It's a
different
separate,
animal.
totally fathers and sons, mothers
Yeah.
and sons, different relationships, and mothers and daughters, and fathers and daughters.
But what you do for a living is now become more sensitized.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I want people to meet the other side of you because to make decisions, now you can say, well, I'm a dad, I know how you feel. And you're a rookie dad. No insult intended.
Yeah.
When you get a little older in the game, you're going to say, you know something, I sort of feel you. I feel what you're
Yeah.
saying because I'm going through that right now. So it's always fun when kids are around, and it gets better. And when you go away, your wife is going to be a mess because it's
Yeah.
that separation anxiety.
Yeah, she, like when I have busy days at work, I can't get up and make her breakfast and take the baby for the first 2 hours so she can get more sleep. She has to figure out lunch. Like I've come home a few times at 5 o'clock, and there's food out that's uneaten, and she's like, "Yeah, I made this at noon. Haven't had a chance to eat it."
Right, and then you think, how could you be so busy with the newborn? I remember I was nursing my daughter, and all the grandmothers had gone home. And I think I was in a rocking chair when Chuck went to work. Here I am, 25 years old, with a newborn. He came home, I was in the same rocking chair. He said, "Did you move?" I said, "No, I didn't have time." He said, "How could you not have time?" I said, "Because all she wanted to do was eat."
Yeah.
I did not even have time to take a shower. That was the last day I nursed because I couldn't do it. All I did was cry. It was like you can't move. So these moms that nurse, I give them a ton of credit because you can't even there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
It's you.
Well, I was like, we need to figure out a way to baby wear him so that he can nurse at the same time so you have two hands free.
They probably have something like
Yeah.
that. There's so many things out there that they never had when we had kids and that our grandparents never had.
I think it's easier to be parents now, so long as you put the work in and read the articles on what's best for the
You
baby's
gotta read them.
development.
It's because you're highly educated.
read the
He's
article.
reading the article.
You
The
gotta read
5
the article.
S's. I'm thinking
Yeah.
the 5 S's to white wine, to drinking wine. You tell me the 5 S's to swaddling.
Well, the bottom line
Sip,
here is
smell, swirl.
you're gonna have to do something nice for Mama.
Yeah, I got Mother's Day coming up.
That's true.
But don't wait. Let me give you a piece of advice. You do before Mother's Day and Mother's Day. You don't pick a day, because if you pick a day, you're gonna say the only reason you did this is because Mother's Day. That's a special mom, son, and you day.
Yeah.
I'm talking about before that. Highlight it. I'm just giving you brownie
do
points
all
here.
of this?
Oh my God, did I ever?
Really?
You think that I made up stuff like the flower bouquet, get out of the doghouse for nothing? Been there, done that. I waited for Mother's Day when Freddie was born. Oh, if it wasn't for Mother's Day, you wouldn't even be appreciative of everything I had to go through. It's not logical thinking. It's emotional thinking.
Yeah, sometimes postpartum we do not have logical thinking.
None.
It is true.
Zippo.
Yeah.
Here's the
We
keys
have
to
our
the car.
moments.
What did you do with the keys to the car? I'm sorry, I wasn't home. Oh, you were home. Where'd you put them? How come I can't find them? Then they'll put them in
You're
their
scaring
hand.
this poor man.
And they go,
Yeah.
have you seen the keys to the car? What you do with the keys to the car? I think they're in your hand. When did you put them there? Everything goes in that direction.
But when you look back, the greatest accomplishments
Wouldn't
you have
change
in life
nothing.
are your kids.
Yeah,
change
I think it's really funny. A couple weeks ago, I messed up a cake that I was making, and she gave me so much crap for it. And then after the baby came, I made some microwavable meatballs just from the freezer, and put them in there for 5 minutes. And I told her, I was like, "Yeah, they're done." Said put them in there for 5 minutes. She's like, "No, I think on the bag it said 20 minutes." And I was like, "You sure?" I was like, "There's no way she's right." So I put them in there, 20 minutes on the microwave. 10 minutes later, really awful smell coming. And I'm like, "What do you think that is, babe?" I was like, "When have you ever microwaved anything for 20 minutes?
The oven was probably 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes on the oven. And I was like, I can't take any advice from you on things until you start getting more sleep.
True. It's absolutely true. But it changes your perspective. And
Yeah.
call Justin, because not only does he have his law degree, he has his LLM in tax, and now he's a dad. So you've got a whole lot more information and skin in the game, as they
Yeah.
say. You understand, more empathetic
Yeah.
to what it is.
I'm there for all your questions and free consultation, or if you haven't had your documents reviewed in a couple of years, I'll review those for free and give you a game plan if we need to make any changes.
That's the part that I say. It's good advice. It's free advice.
Yep.
You know, it's funny because I came up to somebody and I gave them an idea where you have a choice. You can get this or you can stay the same. Even if you get this, you can give it back and stay the same.
Yeah.
But it gets you out of the soup. So how can this be a bad idea?
Because it was your idea.
You know, my father says...
Am I right?
When I said to my father that thing about you could take a horse to water but not make
Yeah.
it drink, he says, yeah, and the horse died. And he rode horses, so I
Yeah.
said that's the way I grew up. I guess you want a dead horse.
Yep, that's exactly it. All we can do is share the information and educate, and we are surrounded by an incredible team of professionals that are here to help you every step of the way. And they work together, which is even better. So you're not just going one or here, you've got a whole team that is ready to quarterback for you.
And I
love that.
And I seen outstanding choices, outstanding from this team. The way Paul and Justin work and Diane, it's a whole group of them.
Yep.
And my God, they're good at what they do. All kidding aside, they're very good at what they do. So believe it or not, the advice is free. You should use it.
What's the best way for people to contact you?
They can call me at 561-276-1008, or they can email me at jmooney@hhk.com.
Just have a free consultation, whether you need legal documents, advice, estate planning, heading overseas, and you just need some basic paperwork put in place. Justin will have the consultation and put that out there for you.
Justin, do you meet people in your office?
Yeah, I meet people in my office. I do Zoom. I meet people at their homes. It just depends on what they're most comfortable with.
And is it true that if they go to your office and have a consultation with you, there's like these special donuts that I heard about?
No, due to popular demand, we're all out.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, you can get one of those
His
cake
wife
cover
needs some
things.
sleep.
I understand that, but my goodness, the day you brought those donuts here, I
He's
had
still
to
talking
hide
about
them.
me eating them.
I never saw one. Oh no, I had one. Did I have one?
No.
There was enough for 3 days. There was one. Humongous. You cut them up into 4, and you put them in one of those cake things. Always wanted to have one of those.
We'll get you one of those.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to have you back.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Congratulations again to you and your wife and the baby.
Thanks.
Ready to wrap this up, everyone. Tune in. We've got a full day ahead today. We've got 6 o'clock. You've got Ask the Expert. We have Touched by Angel Live at 7. And then at 7:30, we've got Slick Speaks talking about the millennial generation and the housing market, how to purchase a home versus renting. How many hours a week?
96.
96 hours a week they have to work on average to pay rent.
Jeez.
Wow. So a lot of great information coming to you. Have a great day, everyone. Stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can pick in every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. Just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that gleams across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and we